This conference will now be recorded.
Well, thank you all very much for joining me once again on a Monday at 2 p.m. on the East Coast for a little business networking. Like always, I see we have a nice combination of people that have been here before and a nice combination of new folks, so that's always great. Basically, this meeting will have three sections. In the first section, I will mute everybody from my side and unmute you one at a time so you can take a minute or two to do an introduction. Mention your product and service, maybe where you are geographically, what a good client or a good referral for you would be. The second section is hopefully some of the introductions have triggered some questions or comments from some of the other folks in attendance, and maybe they want to get a little more detail about what you do, or again, clients or services or things like that. And hopefully, if we still have time, there will be a third section where we can just talk about business in general. How you guys see the economy shaping out for the rest of this year and maybe the beginning of next year. What you see impacting business in a favorable or unfavorable way. And I will do my best to get everybody out of here between 45 and 50 minutes after the hour. Because I know if you're like me, you probably have back to back to back Zoom calls. So I want to give you at least 10 or 15 minutes to grab a drink, refresh, maybe read some emails real quick before you have to jump on your next one. So I hope that agenda sounds very good to everybody. And that's it. I've muted everybody from my side. I'm just going to go in the order that I see people here on my screen. So Jack, do you want to kick us off and unmute yourself, and I'll unmute you from my side, and take a minute or two to introduce yourself, please.
Okay, hi everybody. I'm Jack Maitland. I live in Fort Lauderdale area, originally from Pittsburgh, where Sal is from, and I don't know if any of you other people are from Pittsburgh. I know we've had a number of Pittsburghans on the call before, but anyway, I'm actually a two-time retiree, originally from the NFL back in the 70s and from my ad agency business at the turn of the century. And I currently work with a science-based manufacturing company out of Idaho. Have any of you besides Monika heard of Melaleuca, the wellness company, better known as the Wellness Company? Patrick, you have. I don't know if the rest of you have, but they're the largest private online wellness shopping club in North America, and they're actually the first company now in 75 years to break into the consumer product marketplace. And what I mean by that is they're actually taking market share in sales from pretty powerfully entrenched competitors like Procter and Gamble, SC Johnson, Colgate Palmolive, Slim Fast, companies like that. And the explosive growth in online shopping, a lot of it having to do with COVID, has really propelled this company into a very uh, amazing growth pattern. In fact, they're looking now for people that are motivated people to help them maximize their timely situation. What it is, it's a shopping club. You join, it's a $19 a year membership. You shop for things you're already buying, but you'll get a better product, reasonably priced, and we get paid for referrals. They offer, it's not considered an MLM. We're not one of these, we're not distributors. This isn't the Avon lady or the Amway guy. We don't inventory or sell products, but we basically educate people once we've become happy and satisfied that there's value as a customer. You know, we're looking to educate people about what we do. You get a test drive, you get $100 in free products during the test drive. If it makes sense and you like it, great. Most people just want to be a customer, and people like me want to do a little bit of revenue sharing with the company. So I'm looking for people that want better, safer products as long as we don't mess with your budget. And secondly, people that might want to diversify, supplement their income a little bit, maybe make a few hundred, a couple of grand extra a month on a part-time basis. That's kind of what we're all about. So thank you for the time, and I certainly look forward to hearing from the rest of you.
And Jack, being down in Florida always makes all of us very jealous, but that's okay. We'll put him back on mute then. All right, Jessica. I know you're a relatively new face, but hopefully Jack gave you a good example there. If you can take a minute or two to introduce yourself to the rest of the group, please.
Of course. So I'm in New York City. My name is Jessica Solarzano. I am a licensed massage therapist of 9 years, and also I'm transitioning into wellness coaching and yoga coaching, and I'm also a Reiki practitioner. Um, I don't know if anybody has heard of Ayurveda before, but it's a sister science to yoga. And Ayurveda is all about working with the earth's natural rhythms and instead of against it, so we can bring ourselves back into balance. I specialize in anxiety and insomnia, and I mostly work with women, so I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's all.
Okay, very good. Well, again, we'll have some open chat at the end. So if anybody has questions for you or you want to add anything, we'll have some open chat. And Jordan, I think if you could unmute yourself from your side and same thing, tell us a little bit about you and what you do and where you are.
Sure. Yeah. Currently, physically, I am in Denver, Colorado. Came back here to take care of my lady. She was sick with COVID a couple weeks ago, so wanted to show up. I'm on a little kite surfing tour around the country for the summer, so got into that last year. But I live down in Playa del Carmen, Mexico, and I actually learned to kite surf last year when I was 15. I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Wanted to be a real estate investor my entire life. Did that, built up a decently sized real estate investment portfolio, sent myself into a little mini retirement in my early 30s, and was very, let's put it as unfulfilled, and didn't really realize why. Couldn't figure it out, and finally realized that I had more to offer the world than to just buy a bunch of boxes and stick people in them and, have a bunch of passive income, right? So, yeah, I recently relocated down to Playa del Carmen, Mexico last year. And now I currently bring people down. So two things: bring people down for what I call the nothing doing experience. It's a 7-day transformation. I always ask the question, where do you fall on the scale of planning everything till the day that you die, or living like it's your last day on the planet, right? Obviously, everything's in balance. Neither one of those is sustainable, right? So things don't go as planned always, right? As we know, and you might not die tomorrow, right? So creating that balance and helping. Shoot, sorry, 1 second. Can you guys still hear me?
Yep, we can hear you fine.
Okay, great. And so the nothing doing experience is usually for the people that have done everything right in their career. They may be on their second or third divorce, maybe some sort of midlife crisis. Someone that's wondering why things aren't working in the rest of their world and their business, and financially they're doing just fine. Because that was basically me a couple years ago. The other piece is kind of a spin-off of that, which is called Screw the Agenda. And we gather brilliant creatives in an undisclosed location, and we take them to it. Usually it's your founder, entrepreneur, might be an artist, musician. The people that, again, are the brilliant creatives, we stick them in a room or on a property together for about 4 or 5 days with zero agenda, and we all create a magical weekend together. So if anyone knows anyone that fits that bill, maybe a former NFL player or someone like that, we'd love to have you at screwtheagenda.com is where you can find our website. So
Perfect. Well, and let me tell you, I've already got a couple of questions for you, but we'll finish our whole round of introductions here. Let's see, who is next on my list? Oh, next on my list is someone that has been with us before. Monika, if you could take a minute or two, please, to introduce yourself to the group.
Sure. Hi. My name is Monika, and I'm in Michigan. And I started out as a yoga teacher and a massage therapist, and then I got a divorce. And so I created marketing for myself so that I could actually have a job instead of just, I love to do yoga and massage and meditation, but it wasn't making the bills. So I had to figure out how to do that. So as I learned to market for myself, my friends noticed what I was doing and said, hey, we want you to market for us. So I started marketing for yoga studios and med spas and massage therapists, and learned marketing. And then COVID hit. And so all of my yoga and friends and massage and everything was obviously shut down for a long period of time. And lots of them have left their careers because they had to do something else. And so we have begun with my company is called Blitz B. That blitz of kind of like what Jordan was talking about, we get into that to-do list and we check everything off and we go crazy in our head, and then we forget to be who we're being while we check off our list. So it's Blitz B, that balance between being and doing. And we have created summits. The first summit was for social entrepreneurs to get the word out for what they're doing with all kinds of impact focused businesses, people who there was just amazing people who did they were building tiny homes in California so that they could get the homeless off the streets. And they created all these different organizations around that. And then there was a guy who created food for all the kids in Las Vegas who would go to school, have lunch and breakfast, and have nothing for dinner. So that was our first summit, called the Gold Rush Summit, a movement that transforms lives. And then the second Gold Rush Summit is coming up real soon. It's September 15, 16, and 17. And we gathered 16 business owners who have created 6-figure, 7-figure businesses, and they're telling their secrets about cracking the code to getting a business to 6 and 7 figures. And they're fabulous people. This one woman has 4 6-figure businesses and 1 7-figure business. And she says, once I cracked the code on how to figure out how to do it, I just repeated it over and over and over and over again. So now she has 5 businesses, which she's looking to, get rid of a bunch of them so she can just chill out. So it was really fun to listen to business owners, how they crack the code. So we have a couple of different entrepreneurs or a couple different avatars. One is the avatar who's making 6 figures to come on our summits and talk and help educate those who aren't making that much money so that we can make that kind of an impact. We all know that, the more money we make, the more impact we make. So everybody wants to, people we work with, we want to work with people who are making an impact and creating better lives for everyone across the globe so that all ships rise with the rising tide. So one of those influencers that we work with are the 6-figure and above. And then we do digital marketing. We have 4 different prongs of digital marketing that we help with. And we have a master course or a master class that we help people who aren't up to 6 figures yet. And it's a little bit less expensive way for them to help themselves market, because we noticed in the pandemic, lots of people aren't making as much money as they were before. So they need marketing and they just need traffic. So we're teaching and educating on how to do that in a group setting.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. And I see some of you are already doing it, and that's the beauty of having people that have been here multiple times before, because there's tons and tons of stuff that I forget, and one of these days I'll get organized and create a little cheat sheet for myself. But don't forget to put your contact information in the chat, because at the end tonight, when I send you a copy of the video, I will also send you whatever you put in the chat. So whatever you put in the chat, I will email out to everybody here so they have your contact information. Conversely, if there's something you don't want everybody to have, please don't put it in the chat. All right. One of my favorite participants all the way from Ireland. Patrick, if you could take a minute to introduce yourself, please.
I will, of course. Listen, Sal, you're one of the most organized people I know. I get loads of information from you and emails and stuff like that. So don't be saying you're not organized. You're amazingly organized. You're my mentor in organization. And it's wonderful to be here with all these good people. I think we should all move in together because we've so many skills we couldn't possibly fail. But Jessica and Jack, they're talking about health and what have you. And I'm into promoting a health product. It's about improving cellular health between our organs and tissues and promoting how nutrients are used in constructing the building blocks of the body and the intelligent functioning of our immune system. Because nothing happens in a cell unless redox signaling molecules are present for the process to begin. The word fundamental has taken on a new meaning. Supplementing with redox signaling molecules is completely safe. Every second of every day, our cells are passing tremendous amount of information throughout the body, and any breakdown in that signaling and communication, we cannot be fully healthy. Some really amazing examples about this are, consciously, we know when we're hungry, when we're thirsty, when we're tired, when we're cold, when we're hot, and when we're in a deep sleep in the middle of the night and we wake up and we go to the loo. Now that is a wonderful signal because nothing nasty happens. So those are the conscious ones, and the subconscious ones would be when you're on your bike and your heart is beating and your lungs are working and all these things are working, and it's just marvelous. But to correct this natural and in some cases unforeseen decline due to the impact of lifestyle and stressors and age, we now have available the health breakthrough of redox signaling molecules. This is the only technology in the world that amplifies and clarifies our critical cell signals, and the differences it's making in people's lives is absolutely astonishing. For most people, this is now the missing link. It's new and it's getting pace. It's gaining pace. So it's a big breakthrough, and it's the bigger the breakthrough, as you know, the bigger the opportunity. It's high impact, and no one else has it. And look, this may not be for you, but you might know the person I am looking for to come on board and enhance the distribution network in Europe, the USA, Australia, and Asia, opening up tremendous financial opportunity for the right person. My thanks to you all for enabling me to understand what you are doing and the gift of your attention. My details are in the chat.
All right, perfect, fantastic. And let's see, last but not least, a neighbor here of mine in Indiana, somewhere between Ohio and Michigan. Rhoda, if you could take a minute or two to introduce yourself, please. Oh, you have to unmute yourself from your side, Rhoda.
Before I introduce myself, I need help finding the chat because I do want to get in touch with Jordan and I cannot see the chat on my screen. So hopefully we will figure out a way to do that. But meanwhile, hello from Indianapolis. And often my team of writers and I are working under an agency. So we call that Say It For You Be. And ever since the pandemic, my business, which was always working directly with clients, primarily with small business owners, but sometimes with large companies, all of a sudden developed Say It For You Be, where we are executing blog writing under the direction of a marketing agency. So we now have expanded that part so that it's now about a third of our business. So we have been doing this for 13 years, and we have two claims to fame. One is that we take only one client per type per market. So we will not take competitors. And especially that's important because we're giving the client the copyright to the materials so that we cannot, then resell it and they can do what they like with it. So we have a team of approximately 6 people, including some that are talented graphic designers and web designers, but primarily writers, part-time writers with lots of other interests. I'm also a very heavy networker, and I belong to 2 groups in Indianapolis that are always looking for Zoom speakers. And so I'm very, very interested in anyone who would like to present who doesn't happen to conflict with someone that's in an industry exclusive group. So please do contact me, and once I discover the chat, I'll put my information in there.
Okay. And if you can't find the chat, Rhoda, don't worry. Just email me whatever you want me to add as part of the chat, and I'll make sure to include it before I send out the email later tonight or tomorrow. All right. I guess I am last here. And let me just mention this real quick before I even introduce myself. Recently, I got an offer from somebody that they're going to do a retirement planning seminar. It's all going to be virtual, like we're doing here on the computer. But he offered me a 20% discount and gave me a special link that everybody that goes through that link can get that 20% discount. So if anybody's interested in retirement planning or knows somebody that is, the thing that I was very impressed with, by the way, and I'll send out all this information again later tonight or tomorrow, is they really have an all-star cast of people in the virtual video chat. So even if you're still, I don't even know, 10, 20, 30 years away from retirement, I honestly really think it's worth it to go to this activity. The lowest tier like ticket with the discount is $20. So you can't beat that, and you'll see some really wonderful speakers. So I'll send out that information again later. All right, real quick, just to introduce myself. I think a lot of you folks know me, but as you can see there, my name is Sal Acosta, and I am a business broker. And it's exactly like it sounds. I help people buy and sell businesses. And just to put some numbers around that, because obviously businesses come in all shapes and sizes, I usually deal with what's called Main Street businesses or lower middle market. So that's a business that on the low side may have as few as 10 employees. On the high side, maybe as many as 250. From a revenue perspective, anywhere between zero all the way up to a maximum of 10 or $20 million. And I know cash flow now is a little bit hit and miss with everything that's going on with the coronavirus and now the Delta variant's coming along and all that. But hopefully at least break even to about $1 million or $2 million in net positive cash flow for the year. That's pretty much all I'll say. Oh, for the new folks, so we have some new faces. I did write a book, Secrets to Buying or Selling a Business. And again, when I send out all the information, I'll send a link to the book on Amazon and a link to myself on LinkedIn and absolutely everything. Oh, and Patrick, I know I got to send you yours to Ireland, so don't worry. I just got back to the home office. Between today and tomorrow, I'll be emailing you, or not emailing you, mailing you a copy down to Ireland. All right, guys, that is it from my side. I am going to unmute absolutely everybody, and hopefully everybody's unmuted. So I guess, does anybody have questions for anybody else based on the introductions? They'd like to learn more about something.
Just before that, would I get it on online? Could I get a soft copy instead of you going to all that trouble, Sal?
Don't worry, it's all set. It's all done. So
Okay. I love a book. You see, I love a book. But just to help Rhoda out there, Rhoda, on the top of your screen there, you have people. You see on the right-hand side, you have people. You have a person. I didn't know this until some weeks ago. You put your cursor on the person, and then you have 7 there that are online, and then beside it you have the chat, and that's the chat.
I see view who's talking, view presenter, view everyone, but I don't see anything about the chat.
You won't see it. You put the cursor on it. Put the cursor on it. Sorry, Sal.
Oh, that's fine. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for trying to help.
Not at all. You're welcome.
Hey, Jordan, I wanted to ask you something, if you could unmute there. Are you familiar with the book Do Less, Achieve More? By,
No.
I don't know if you can see this. By, her name is Chin Ning Chu. Discover the Hidden Power of Giving In. Do Less, Achieve More. I wanted to ask you a little bit, if you could explain just in a 30 seconds or a minute, tell me a little bit more specifically what you do and what you're looking for, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure. I want to connect with people that are kind of type A, have been the doers, and would like to create more depth, more expansion, more space in their world, to do exactly that, to do less and achieve more on their personal side, right? So living a better story, connecting in more depth with their relationships in their lives, friends, family, etc. And then also on the screw the agenda side, those are the type A individuals that, you know, we want to get them together for a group event. And if you go to the website, screwtheagenda.com, there's some copy
I
on
see
there
it
that kind
there.
of gives you an idea. Yeah.
One of her
So,
quotes here is she says, "We fail to achieve our goals because we're trying too hard to succeed."
yeah, and what is success, right? I mean, it's just, we usually peg that to monetary, right?
Right.
To something
Exactly.
monetary. And a lot of the times, achieving, or I guess chasing superiority actually decreases, has an inverse relationship with happiness levels, right?
Yeah.
And so the harder and harder you try, the more and more difficult it becomes to actually buy those units of happiness, right?
Do
I think
you
it's
do
after
group
like
counseling or individual?
individual. So I take people on one-on-one experiences down in Mexico, for a week-long experience, again, that I call the nothing doing experience. And we don't just sit around and do nothing, right? We have emergent experiences. There's just no plan, right? So it's just going out and living in the world and seeing what comes of it. And usually there's always some magic that happens, from doing just that, right? So,
Okay, cool. I appreciate it. I'll check the site out.
yeah,
The
absolutely.
to
Hey,
describe
Jessica, what is the name of the cat?
Severus from Harry Potter.
Oh my goodness.
Cool.
He's
What
very big.
Jordan, just to ask you a question there. The kind of people you're coming in contact with, are they messed up, semi messed up, or awfully messed up? Or have they a belief? Where is their belief system? I mean, their belief system in themselves. They're successful. They have achieved. All right. They made some mistakes, or things went wrong outside their control or inside the control. I don't know, but I mean, are they looking for you to resurrect them, or
Yeah, it's
or
usually a chance to, and it's a great question, Pat. I appreciate it. It's like, it depends. It's kind of a wide range, right? I mean, the last person that I had down was a successful entrepreneur, right? Was on his second divorce, is going through that now. And he just needed to get off the hamster wheel, right? He had been running on that track for his entire career. And he had found out through mutual friends and connections that I had moved down to Mexico and learned to kite surf. And he was just curious, right? Like, what are you up to down there? And um, I was a certified skydiver, extreme skier. Now I'm into kite surfing, and it was just kind of like, it's like, what is he doing, right? And so he came down and just wanted to be in a space of figuring out kind of how and where I was operating from, right? And after, when he left, I had met his daughter some months later, and she came up to me and she said, she was almost in tears, right? And she said, I don't know what you did to him down there, but he's like a completely different person, right? And I was asking him the question while he was down there, like, why do you think your daughter wants to live out of a van and just go hike and be in nature all the time? He's like, oh, he knew right away. He said, because growing up, it was always, don't scratch the Land Rover, do this, everything had to be in order and in place. And it was just frustrating for her, right? So anyways, just creating a bit more flexibility in his life now. And it's created a deeper relationship with his daughter, which I think that in itself was, worth the money for him to come down. So
that's really, really good, because there are a couple of things I really learned through by default and working too hard and all that. And one was to ask myself when I was sick, what does winning look like for me? What does it look like? And the second thing is, I regret not being able to develop the capacity to say no in a nice way.
Actually, let me ask
yeah,
you. do something just real quick by a show of hands. How many people here in today's phone call or video chat consider themselves type A? Just raise your hand and I'll raise mine.
I'm not sure. I'm not
Oh,
sure.
I see Monica's like 50-50 and Patrick is not sure. I think Jack and I are sure. Rhoda is sure. Jessica, I guess you're not. You're not a type A, huh?
I feel like I'm a pleasant type A.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful.
I'm like a type A that tries to like, bring myself back.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Monica, I saw you doing like this. So what does that mean? Sometimes or half the time or not a super type A? What does this mean?
I'd say I try and find a balance. So there are moments when I'm type A and I need to be type A. Like right now we're launching this summit and I really need to be type A for a little while I get shit done. But I pay attention to who I'm being in that moment when I'm doing it, and I'm checking off my list and I'm paying attention to, did I do yoga? Did I walk in the grass? Have I been outside yet today? So even though I'm in that type A, I want to be, yeah. And there are times like on the weekend, I just turn it all off and I can just stop and like let it all go. And whatever happens, happens and just ride the flow. So I would say I'm a bit of both.
Okay. And the yoga and the walking outside is what you do to relax.
Definitely. And just to stay grounded and stay out of that mental gymnastics in my head.
So that's what they call screw the agenda, right, Jordan?
Yeah, Rhoda, go ahead.
Absolutely.
I was going to say that I'm probably on the upper age limit of the people here. And what I have discovered for myself is that having not the agenda, but having order, literally physical order in my house and physical order of certain things in the schedule that I just feel like actually makes a greater sense of freedom. Because now you don't have to think about those things. They're kind of in place and you can be more flexible.
Actually, I'm going to ask everybody a question. Whoever wants to answer. Monica already kind of answered, but what do you do to relax and maybe even a step further, what do you do to relax that you would recommend to other people here or in general to do to relax?
Well, as a wellness coach, be strict about your days off.
Yeah.
Okay, so whether it's Saturday or Sunday or some other days, and
Yeah,
when
it
you
doesn't have to be those days either.
so wait a minute, because this is so I want to ask you this: when you say be strict,
Yeah.
how strict do you want to be? Meaning, like literally not answer phone calls and emails? I mean, are you talking about that strict? Because that could piss off some clients.
Know how to have like a work-life balance. So strict could look like, for me, like I took a couple of days off like recently, and made that my weekend. So I looked at the emails, but I didn't do anything that was like gonna allow me to get trapped in that. Like I gotta do this, I gotta respond, because I could get into that zone.
I make lists. I think that lists, this is type A, but at the same time, let's say that there are emails and I've given myself this afternoon to go dancing or to read a book or whatever it is that I've decided I'm not working.
Mhm.
And the fact that I write down that this email needs to be answered, it's on a list, allows me to put it away in my own mind and not worry about it for right now.
Yeah, I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I think, as a suggestion, Sal, I think Monica and Jordan should get together and put a program together, and then you could launch them internationally.
Maybe we'll start an incubator. You did say it's a great idea, which is, we do have a lot of talent in this phone call. And so, hey, maybe we'll start an incubator.
Yeah.
Pat, what part of Ireland do you live in?
The west of Ireland. The west of Ireland. President Kennedy came here in 1963, and he said on a clear day, which is kind of unusual, you would see Boston on a clear day if you looked out. That's the right out into the Atlantic, 3,000 miles or something like that. And it's a wonderful place to live. And we get when I see the rain as I did last week and recently, I just think of all the fires around the world, how they could use, an hour this rain. It's just, oh, shattering, really, shattering. How lucky we are. But I'm a positive person. I wake up every day with gratitude, and I look forward. Who am I going to influence today, and who am I going to help today? And I've now a new approach. Sorry, Sal, I just want to share this. I now have a new approach. I don't look back unless it's positive. I can't look too far forward. So I segment my day. Morning, what am I going to achieve this morning? This afternoon, same thing. This evening, the same thing. Now, I mightn't be in the mood or something might happen. I get out of phase or whatever, and I say, well, there's nothing out of this evening. That kind of, I'm finding that's really working for me much better than kind of being type A, being crazy type A or half type A. I don't know what I am really, but I think was it Rhoda? Was it Rhoda? Who was it that said you can depending on the situation you can decide whether to be type A or type B or type C.
I think that was Monica.
I thought, yeah.
By the way, and this is for Monica and for anybody else, if you folks want to send out information, our mailing list is over 1,700 people, and there's 1,700 people that have opted in that they have some type of business-related interest. I don't mind taking, whatever activity, whatever information you send me and sharing it with the rest of the group because I'm always of the more the merrier. And if it's anything that can benefit the 1,700 people, I'm more than happy to send that information out. So just be aware of that in general. Like I said, later tonight, I'll be sending out some information on this retirement virtual presentation. So, and I don't know if any of you joined that World Fair last week, but I sent that out, and again, we got some really nice discounts on that one too. All right, anything else? Let's see how we're doing for time. We got a couple minutes left, just in general. Any questions, issues, things that people can help with, things that are concerned? How concerned is everybody with the Delta variant? I mean, just anything we want to talk about now for a couple minutes.
I think we need to keep the people of Afghanistan in our prayers.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah, that wasn't exactly the most graceful exit, was it?
No.
Without getting into politics.
Yeah,
Right.
we don't want to do that. That's for sure.
Go ahead, Monica.
I would just say, it sounds like everybody wants to create some sort of impact because we're super impact focused. As you're growing your business or as you have grown your business or multiple businesses for some of you who have retired twice or whatever, what would you say is your biggest challenge in creating the most impact?
My biggest challenge is myself.
I agree.
Now, wait a minute. Let me answer this question, though, Monica. When you
mean,
talk about impact, do you mean impact from a financial perspective, from a sales perspective, from a growing the business perspective, or do you mean impact in the sense of making things better for clients, for customers, for the environment, for the community? What do you mean by
all of it? All of that. Because we can't really separate those out. If we're capable of making a huge impact in someone's life, that makes an impact over here, which makes an impact in our business, which makes an impact everywhere. So it's like a big tidal wave. When we create that impact, we can't just separate it out into one space. It's it is across all of those things. So I would say being impact focused means having that impact for yourself, having that impact, when you create an incredible deal for someone and they make money, and then they're able to look at, where can I give that money? What is the organization I want to help with that money that I made? It's a huge impact, because then that impacts not just your community, but wherever their community is and wherever they're helping someone. So I don't know that I could separate that out. And everyone is looking at impact, kind of like someone said, what does success mean? Like Jordan said, impact in my eyes means, what is it? I mean, the impact for me is about, we want to help people who serve people. We want to serve people who are helping people. And
Yeah,
so
I agree, Monica. I mean, that's the mission statement of our company, and it's our personal mission statement, enhancing the lives of those we touch by helping people reach their goals. Who was it that said, yeah, I think it was Zig Ziglar, helping out people what they want to get in life and get what you want in life.
yeah, so I guess,
It's all about putting back.
yeah. So however you take that word impact, so Patrick was saying for himself that he gets in himself. He and Jessica said that they get themselves in their own way. What do you mean by that?
Because I feel like I spent a whole lot of years as like a massage therapist, and I was kind of always getting in my way when it came to like success. Like, of course, like I was like, what, 21 when I graduated massage school. So I have to like go easy on myself. But I definitely, compared to like how I'm doing things now, I'm less likely to hold myself back by like, I guess like being immersed in my own like limiting beliefs when it comes to like success and like being able to make an impact with people.
Got it. Got it.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Here, I'll ask this question for Rhoda. Rhoda, because this is kind of along the lines of what Jessica was saying. If you could go back in time to I'm going to say, Rhoda when she first started working, what advice would you give Rhoda when she first started working?
You mean in my life when I first started working?
Yes.
Funniest thing, I started working at age 15, and I have not had a full year of not working since then. And it's been quite a number of decades since then. So I always wanted to um, be better than I was. Not so much better than everybody else, but get better at what I did. So I lived in New York City and I worked on the New York Stock Exchange, physically sorting the stock certificates from the trades that morning. And so I would have a race with myself about how I could do it better and faster. So I think that's what I would say to myself is a good thing. That it's good to compete with oneself and always try to do something better, more efficiently. Um, so I think that part I'm pleased with when I look back. I think that the Beatles song of "Let It Be." I think that I'm learning the truth of that as I get older. Not to get so aggravated about little things and setbacks. It doesn't matter. Let it be. There are more important things for me to worry about.
All right. I like that advice. All right, guys, listen, it's a couple of
Yeah,
minutes.
just to finish off there, Rhoda triggered something in me, and it is this: to care less, but not to be careless.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
And
Carol,
then that equals compassionate indifference.
yes.
Something like that. Yeah.
Okay, very good. Well, listen, one last, and maybe that was the last comment because that was very good. But at the risk of running over that, one last comment before we call it quits for today. And obviously, we'll do it again in exactly 2 weeks. So if anybody wants to join us exactly in 2 weeks, Monday, 2 p.m. Eastern, we'll do it again. But does anybody want to take the very last word or very last comment before we disband?
Thank you, Sal.
Good luck to Monica on your conference. That's good.
Thank you. Thank
Hey,
you. I put the
Sal,
link.
that Monday's Labor Day. Are you aware of that? September 6th is Labor Day.
Oh, that's right. We're skipping Labor Day. Oh my God. Thank you for pointing that out. So we're not going to meet again until 4 weeks from today. So everybody have a good Labor Day, and hopefully you don't get withdrawal symptoms.
It'll be 3 weeks instead of 4.
Yes, it'll be exactly 4 weeks from today then. I'll send out the information later. But yes, what I'm going to do is we do it, and we normally do this every other week. So we're just going to skip. And so then we'll do it exactly 4 weeks from today.
Okay.
Jack is on the ball here. Jack is on the ball. There's no doubt about it.
You know me.
Literally,
I
Okay,
literally on the ball.
try not to fumble.
you're gonna send
There you go. That could get you in trouble. Okay, guys, listen. I'm gonna shut it down. It's 2:49. I want to give everybody, like I said, a couple minutes to relax, drink water, do whatever it is they need to do. It's always been a pleasure. I would love it if you could join me again in 4 weeks. In the meantime, if you have anything that you would like me to share with the big group of 17, please do, and I'll send out a copy of the recording, a copy of everything that's in the chat. And Rhoda, if you want to send me your stuff via email, I'll add it to the chat. And that's it. Hopefully, I can see all of you in 4 weeks.
God
Okay.
bless everyone. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks.
Thank
Great to
you.
meet you
Thanks,
all.
all.
Bye. Bye.
Hey, Sal,
Yes.
I did put those 2 links in there. If you would share that with that email group, I would so appreciate it.
You put it in the chat?
I put it in the chat. Yep, the summit
right.
link and then the masterclass link.
Okay, perfect. So what I'm going to do is then I'm going to do it twice. Because I always share it with this small group, but then I'm going to take your stuff and share it with the big group, which is 1,700 people. So don't worry about that. I will do that.
Okay. Okay. So much appreciated. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Monica. Then thank you for joining us.
Good to see you again.
Hey, you too. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.